Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being patient. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Kindly give me a confirmation if you guys can hear me clearly. Yes or no? Come on. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Can you guys hear me clearly? Yes or no? Come on. Give me a confirmation, please. Okay, wonderful. Awesome. Okay. So welcome to day 6 of this boot camp, everyone. Okay. So yeah. So far in this journey, we have consumed approximately 5 days and we have learned a lot about data science and Python, right? So can anyone tell me what we have done yesterday? Let's see who remembers. What we have done yesterday. Who is going to tell this? What we have done yesterday. Come on. Loops. Okay. And conditional statements, if you remember. Yes or no? Right? Awesome. Perfect. So yesterday we have talked about the conditional statements. We have seen how to use the conditional statement, how we can use the nested conditional statements, and so on and so forth. Apart from that, we have talked about the loops as well, right? We have understood what is a for loop, what is a while loop, when to use for loop, when to use while loop, and when not to use either of them, right? And we've also seen that in Python we don't have a loop called as do while, right? In other languages you might gonna find out do while loop as well, but in Python we don't have that. Okay, okay. Now today what I'm going to do is today I have to cover some topics, that is your how exactly you can take the input from the user. That's the first thing. How the function works, and then we are going to do a very simple short project. Okay, what we have learned so far, based on that we are going to use our knowledge, right, and our learning, and we are going to do a very simple project today. Okay, are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Yes or no? Come on. Okay, perfect. So before we start, kindly give me a last confirmation if you guys can hear me clearly and if my screen is visible to all of you, right? For those who are having an issue with the screen that it is blurry, kindly go and change the resolution to the highest setting, please. Okay, okay, awesome, perfect. So let's start with today's topic, right? So this is something that we have discussed yesterday, right? So we have talked about loops and we have talked about the conditional statement and so on and so forth, right? Now, before going on and understanding what is a function and so on and so forth, I'm going to tell you that over here, whenever we define the inputs, right? Whenever if I say I'm having a variable var, right? Or let me say the variable name as age, right? Where I'm storing the age, and let's say age is equals to 78, right? Now, what is happening over here is that this is a hard coded message. This is a hard coded message, right? This is not a custom message, right? So, every time if I have to change the value of the age, I have to come up over here, I have to remove this value, and then I have to do it again, right? But what I want to do is I want to make an applications, right? I want to work on web applications, I want to work on mobile applications, and so on and so forth. And that what happen is that you have to take the user input. Okay, you want the user to give the input for you, right? So what we do is that if you want to take the input from the user, if you want to take the input from the user, we are going to see how exactly we can do that, right? So there's a function called as input function. Okay, let me write this input function. Okay, there's a function called as input function, and how do we know that this is a function? First the function name followed by the parenthesis, that this is the input function. So what exactly input function do is it takes the input from the user, right, and store it in a form of a string. Okay, and it store it in a form of a string. The reason being is that the input function store the data in form of a string is that because if it because you know that we cannot trust the user. User can give any kind of data, right? And if we say that the input only takes the integer data, in such cases, if user provides a string data, then it will going to create a clash, right? And we are going to get an error. That's why, for the sake of simplicity, the value of this input, or the data type of this input has been set to string. That whatsoever data you are going to give it, it will going to store into a string, right? But now the question arises, if someone asks that, okay, but if I want to store numerical data, then what will going to happen? Then, based on the typecasting concept, what you have to do, you have to convert the data from string to your integer. Okay, let me show you an input. Let's say this is my age and this is the input function. If I'm going to run this, now can you see that pop-up comes up, right? A section that has come, and you can see interpreter is still running. Right? So now it is asking me the input. What is the value that you want to provide to this variable age? Let's say the value I want to provide it 67. Let me run this. Now what happened is this value 67 is being stored in the variable age. Now if I say give me the value of age, now see this. The value of age, it comes out to be 67, right? And how do I know that this is not an integer, so and this is a string? Because if you see, this is the data, and this data has been enclosed within the inverted commas. This data is being enclosed within the inverted commas, right? So it is a string, right? Even though if I write type and then I show you age, right, you can see this is str, that is your string. Okay, that is your string, right? But now if you say that, no, I don't want to save it as a string, I want to save it as an integer. Now what do you have to do? You have to use the concept of typecasting. So what you're going to do is you are going to define int, and you are going to put this input, you are going to put this input function inside this int. So now what will going to happen is, whatsoever data that you are going to take, it will automatically going to convert into an integer. Okay, let me show you the example again. Let me run this, and let's say if I write the same 67. Now if I print the age value, now 67, now you can see 67 is there, but you are not having the inverted commas. Over here we were having the inverted commas, we are not having the inverted commas, right? And if I'm going to run this again, now see, we are getting an integer value. Because the string is being converted into an integer, right? But you need to make sure only those data will be converted into second form or into different data type if it makes sense in the other data type, right? 67 does make sense in integer because we have a value in integer, that is 67, right? If we add a value that is absolutely not appropriate in the integer form, then let's see what we are going to get. Let's say I run this, and let me write hello world, right? So this is a string, perfectly fine, but this string cannot be converted into an integer, because in integer this doesn't makes any sense. Yes. Okay, so now if I'm going to run this, now see, I am getting an error, that is a value error, and it says that invalid literal for integer with base 10. That means in integer we don't have any kind of hello world. Hello world doesn't make any sense in integer. So make sure that whenever you're converting from one data type to another data type, it should be making some sense in the converted data type, then only the conversion will going to occur, right? So this is a very basic term how you can use uh, an input. Okay, how you can take the user input or a real-time input from the user. Is this clear? Yes or no? Okay, is this clear, everyone? Yes or no? Kindly give me a confirmation, please. Perfect. Now this is about the taking the input, right? Now we are going to talk about the next concept that comes under the advanced concept of Python, right? Yes, this is a Jupyter, this is the collab notebook. This is not a Jupyter notebook, this is a collab notebook. Okay, this is your collab notebook. Okay, now we are going to talk about the functions. What exactly are functions? what exactly are functions, right? So far, can anyone tell me how many functions you have seen so far from the day one? How many functions do we have encountered so far? Can anyone tell me? Can anyone tell me how many functions do we have encountered so far? Let's see who knows any function. Anyone? Print function. Okay. Next, print function, type function, wonderful. Type function, and anything else? Input function, wonderful. Right? So these are some of the functions that we have seen in this bootcamp. That is a print function, type function, and the input function. Right? You can see over here clearly that the common thing over here is the name of the function followed by the parenthesis. Right? Similarly, in Python you have a lot of functions. Right? So what exactly is function? What do you understand by this function? So function is also a container or a bucket. Function is also, you can consider function as a container or a bucket. Now some of you will going to say, sir, you have told us that variable is a container and a bucket, and now you're telling function is a container and a bucket, right? Exactly. Variable is also a bucket and container. Function is also a container and bucket. Only difference between these two is that variable will going to contain the value, whereas function contains the logic. Function contains the logic. Always remember this thing. Okay. Function is also a container, right? And it stores the logic. Okay. Now question arise. Now some of you will going to say, can you please elaborate on this? Let me show you an example. Let's say let's go to this example, right? This is a functionality that we have written. Okay. This is a functionality that we have written. What exactly is this code? This code will going to help us to understand whether a student will going to get a certificate or not, right? So this is the functionality that we have written. Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay. Okay, till here are you getting this? This is a functionality that helps us to know to know what exactly this particular piece of code will going to do. You have written this code to perform some functionality. But now again the same thing is, let's say after writing 5,000 lines of code, after writing 5,000 lines of code, again you want to reuse this functionality. Again you want to reuse this entire functionality. So the first thing is that you will going to copy this entire logic from here, and after 5,000 lines of code you will going to paste it. Again after writing, let's say 800 lines of code, again you want to reuse this functionality, then again you will going to use it. Now see, you are repeating your code. Okay, you are repeating your code over here. Are you guys getting this? Okay, right? So what we do is we put the functionality into a container, right? So the next time if I would want to reuse this code, instead of pasting all the code, I'm just going to call the name of the function, or I'm going to call the function by its name, and name of the function. Okay, I'm going to call the function by its name, right? And that's it, right? So this will be more optimized way to do so, and this will going to help you out not to get confused in different codes, and a lot of codes has been repeating time, right? So this is what function is. This is what function is. Function is also a container that contains the logic. Is this clear? Is this clear, everyone? Yes or no? Okay. Now let's see how exactly we can declare a function in Python. Okay. So now similarly, if you remember, I was telling you that if you want to use a for loop, you have a keyword as for. If you want to use the functionality of while loop, you have to use the keyword as while, right? Similarly, if you want to work with function, you have to define your own function. There is a keyword that is known as def. That is the short form of define. Okay. So this is the DEF. That means as soon as you are going to use this keyword DEF, automatically it will going to give the sensation to the interpreter that from here the function is going to start, or the user is using the function, right? So the syntax will be, first of all, you have to use the keyword DEF, then name of the function, name of the function, like this, and obviously parenthesis will be this. See, as soon as I have provided the parenthesis, automatically the color has been changed. That means interpreter recognize that okay, this is a function, right? And then colon, you have to end the line with the help of colon, right? In the next line you will be having the logic, in the next line you will be having the logic, right? And then you have to use the return keyword, and then whatsoever you want to return, that means what exactly do you want to return from this functionality, right? Let's say we want to create a function of addition. That means I'm going to give it two numbers, and you will going to give me the addition of that two numbers, right? Simple. Yes or no? How exactly we write it in normal form? That a is my first number, 12, b is my second number, that is 45, and what I'm going to do is print a plus b. So this is the addition of two numbers, this is the addition of two numbers. Yes or no? Right? But only con over here is that again and again I have to rewrite the entire logic whenever I want to require it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a function out of this. So I'm going to say def addition, that is the name of my function, the parenthesis, right? Okay, the first is my 12, second value is my 45, right? And I want to return this 57, so I'm going to say return a plus b, return a plus b, right? So now if I'm going to run this, okay, perfect. So the function is ready. Now if I have to call it, in order to use the functionality of a function, you have to call it. So we are going to call it addition. That's it. Now let's see what we are going to get. See, we are getting 57. So the next time if you want to use the same functionality, we don't have to write this entire logic over and over again. Instead, we can simply call it by the help of function name. Is that clear? Is that clear? Right? So this is a hard coded function, right? This is also known as function without any parameter, right? So this is hard coded. That means doesn't matter how many number of times I'm going to call this function, the output will remain be the same, right? But I want to make the addition function in such a way that user will going to give me the input, okay? User will going to give me the input, and now I'm going to provide the output based on the input that has been given by the user. So I have to customize it. So now what I'm going to do is, let me copy the same function, come up over here, paste it. I'm going to say that user will going to give me the first number and user will going to give me the second number. This is a parameter. This is a parameter. Let me remove this. And what this function is going to return is number 1 plus num2. That's it, right? Okay. So now this is a function that I have written, right? So now let me say a is equals to integer input. Let's say enter the first number. I'm going to ask from the user, copy this, paste this. This is your b, and let's say this is your second number, right? I'm going to ask the integer, I'm going to ask the user for the first number and the second number, right? And then I'm going to use the function. I'm going to use this function addition, right? A comma b. Let's run this and see what you're going to get. Enter the first number. Tell me any number. Tell me any number, guys. Come on. Tell me any number. 27. Okay. Tell me the second number. 10. Let's see. See, we are getting 37. So the output over here is not hard coded. That means the number of times, doesn't matter number of times if I'm going to run this, I'm going to get the same output. No, it will not going to happen. Output depends upon the input. The output depends upon the input over here, right? So if you say that I don't want to call, so I want to create a single function, that will going to ask the input as well, and we're going to provide the output. So what you can do is you can take this, copy it over here, right, and remove this one. Instead, copy this, paste it inside the function, and say a plus b. Let me do this, a plus b. Let's run this. Now what will going to happen is that I simply has to run the function by its name, and everything will going to happen automatically. Now see, first number, second number, and the output. See, now the number of times you want to reuse this addition function, you can go ahead and you can use it. So this is the function, this is the use of function, that you store the entire logic so that over and over again, if you want to use it multiple times, you can easily do that. Is this clear? Is this clear? Is the concept of function is clear to all of you? Yes or no? Is the concept of function clear to all of you? Okay, so this is a very short form of shorthand notation that I have told you about function, but there are lot of more things about functions, right? So there are different types of functions as well, right? There are lambda functions as well. There are there are a lot of other functions in a lambda function as well, right? So obviously we cannot cover all of them, but this is something that you need to understand, that this is how exactly function works and what exactly is the function, how to define a function, and so on and so forth, right? Now, and obviously you can have function in a function as well, right? There's one concept known as iteration and recursion. Recursion is very, very famous. Okay, so that is related to functions. That means a function that call itself, that is known as recursion. Those are the advanced concept, right? Now we are going to move toward the simple exercise, or you can say a simple project that we are going to make. We are going to make a game, a normal game with the help of Python. If you might have heard about this game, that is known as rock paper scissors. Anyone have heard about this game, rock paper scissors? Anyone ever played this game, rock paper scissors? Come on. Cool, everyone has played this game, right? Rock paper scissors. So we are going to create a game so that we can play rock paper scissors with computer. We will going to make a game through which we can easily play rock paper scissors with the computer. Okay, so over here we are going to take the initial R for rock, okay, P for paper, and S for scissor, right? So the first thing is, let's start how exactly we can create this game. Okay, first of all we have to take the user input. First of all we are going to take the input from the user. So let's say this is my user, right, and I'm going to take the input from the user, right, and let me write a message over here as well. Enter the input, okay, and let me give the option such as snake, oh, sorry, not snake, this is paper, rock paper and scissor, right? From the rock paper and scissor game, choose any one of them, right? And apparently I'm going to use one more method, that is known as upper method. What upper method will going to do is, upper method will going to convert the value, upper method will going to convert whatsoever input I am giving over here into the uppercase. That means even though if I give this R, automatically this R will be converted into the capital R, right? If it is capital R, then it will be capital R only, right? But if I'm giving a small r, it will be going to convert it into capital R. That is what this upper function will going to do. Okay, let me show you. If I say print user, let me remove this. Let's run this. Now see, over here if I say small r, automatically see I'm getting the capital R, right? So it will be very easy for us to make a conditions and all that, right? So this is how I'm going to take the user input, right? Now what I want to do is, I want to make the computer to choose. I want to make the computer to choose from rock paper scissor and rock paper and scissor, right? So into and I want this nature to be random. I want this nature to be random. So for that I'm going to import one module, that is random module, right? Why I'm importing this random module? Because there is a function in this random module that is known as choice. So what I want to make the computer to do is that computer will going to choose one option randomly, either rock or paper or scissor. Okay, either rock or paper or scissor. So let me show you. There's a one function known as random dot choice. This choice says that give me a list of values and I'm going to choose random values from this list, right? So let's say the value of list is rock, paper and scissor. You can see this is first element, second element, third element, and this is a list, right? So this choice function, what it will going to do is it will randomly going to select the value. It will randomly going to select the value among rock, paper, scissor, or whatsoever element that has been provided. Now see, if I'm going to run this, let's say for I in range, let's say run this 10 times, print. Now see, if I'm going to run this, now see, I have printed this 10 times, and the times that we're going to run this choice function will going to pick up the value randomly. Now see, first in the first instant is I have taken P, then second also P, then R, then S, and all this. This is a random nature. This is a random nature, and it will going to change if I'm going to run this. Now see that it has been changed, right? So this is what I'm going to give to my computer. So this is my computer choice. This will be my computer choice. This is what my computer will going to choose. Okay, so I'm going to say computer is equals to random dot choice. I'm going to take an input, and now computer will going to take an input. Till here is this clear? Till here is this clear, everyone? Yes or no? I want to play a game of rock paper scissors. First of all, I want to see that what input the user has taken and what input the computer has taken, right? Till here is this clear? Right, now we are going to define the condition based on the input that has been selected by the user and computer. We are going to specify that who has won the game. Okay, based on the input selected by user and computer, we are going to check that who has won the game, right? And according to this game rule, we know that if someone has chosen rock, right, and the other person has chosen, let me define it like this, rock and paper, who will going to win in this game? If the first user has chosen rock, second user has chosen paper, who will going to win this game? Come on, rock or paper? Tell me. Who will going to win this game, rock or paper? Paper, of course. It will be paper, right? If it is rock and it is water, then, sorry, not water, it's scissor. In that case, rock will be the winner, right? Next, rock, we know if both of them have chosen rock, then nobody will be the winner. That is a tie match, right? Then rock, paper, paper and scissor. We know who will going to win the game. It is always scissor. Yes or no? Yes or no? This is the game or not? Okay. If both of them has chosen the same input, that is rock and rock, then it will be tie. If they both have chosen paper and paper, then it will be tie. If they both have chosen scissor and scissor, it will be tie, right? If someone has chosen rock, right, rock will, and then other has chosen paper, paper will going to win the game. If someone has chosen rock and other has chosen scissor, rock will going to win the game, right? If someone has chosen paper and someone has chosen scissor, in that case scissor will going to win the game. Is that clear? This is a rule. This is the rule of rock paper scissor. Yes or no? Yes or no? Is this clear? Is this clear, everyone? Yes or no? Okay. So now I'm going to write a condition over here for first for the user and then for the computer. So I'm going to write all the possible outcomes where user can win. Okay. I'm going to write the possible outcome where user can win. So I'm going to say If user, let's say if user has chosen rock, okay, if the user has chosen rock, and at the same time the computer has chosen, let's say, paper, not paper, let's say scissor. Okay, this is the first condition where the user will going to win. If the user has chosen rock and computer has chosen the scissor, right? Next condition, will be, let me copy this and paste this. If the user has chosen scissor and computer has chosen paper, again user will going to win the game, right? Let me copy this again. And what's the third condition? If the user has chosen paper and if computer has chosen rock, then also user will going to win. These are the three cases. These are the three cases where user can win. Yes or no? Yes or no? These are the three cases where user can win. Yes or no? Right? So after this condition, I'm going to print who won the game. User won. Let me write user won. Simple, right? Similarly, let me copy this entire thing, paste it over here, and since this is the next condition, so it will be elif. Instead of user, I'm going to convert this to computer, and this computer should be user. It should be user. Opposite, and this should be user. So these are the condition where computer will going to win. These are the condition where computer will going to win, right? So I'm going to write over here computer, right? And then else, in else part, what I'm going to write? I'm going to write draw, match draw. That means none of them have won, because this is the only case where if both of them will be getting the identical input. Okay, if both of them are getting the identical input, they will be getting the same. It will going to last in the else block, right? So this is a simple game that we have seen, rock paper scissor game, right? Now let's try to run this. So it is asking enter the input rock, paper or scissor. So I'm going to say I am going to choose rock. Let's run this. So it says match draw. It says match draw. That means computer might have chosen rock as well, but I don't know about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to print a message over here. I'm going to print the message that what computer has actually chosen, right? So instead of writing this message over here, let me write over here print, and I'm going to use the f string. I'm going to say user chose and computer chose. Okay, so what user has chose, I'm going to copy this and paste this over here. I'm going to choose computer and I'm going to paste this over here, right? Copy this one, and again let's come up and paste this, and again and come up and paste this, right? Let's run this and see. Input rock, and see I am getting a message over here. So user chose R and computer has chosen S, and it says match draw. That is absolutely wrong. That is absolutely wrong. Yes or no? That is absolutely wrong. Yes or no? Because over here as well I'm using and. Over here I'm also using and, right? If you have learned about Boolean algebras and all that, you will going to understand it. And will only going to work when all the condition gets satisfied. That means as soon as I've ran this, I have chosen and. This means that only and only this condition will going to follow if all the condition over here will be true. If this condition will be true, and along with this condition is also true, and this condition is also true. That's why it is coming to match a draw. So instead of this and, if I change this to or, if I change this to or and this to or as well. Now see how it will going to work out. Okay, make sure about the and or. This is very interesting. Rock paper scissors. So let's say rock. Let's enter. Now see, user has chosen R and computer has chosen R and match is draw. Let's run this again. Let's say R, and you can see user has chosen rock, computer has chosen paper. Who has won the game? Computer has won the game. Getting this or not? Are you guys getting this or not? Is this clear? Is this clear? Okay, now let's make it to more advanced. Let's take it one level ahead, and let's say over here I have to run it over and over again. So why not to create a system like that, that it will going to ask me or ask the user how many times do you want to play, right? So according to that, user will going to play, and at the end we are also going to collect the point, and we're going to show who has won the game based on that particular point, right? So what we are going to do is, instead of writing over here, what we are going to do is we are going to introduce one more variable, and we're going to say times of play. That means how many times do you want to play this game. So let me write the input as an integer, right? And we are going to say a message, how many times do you want to play, right? Give the input, right? Based on this we are going to run a loop. Based on this we will going to run a loop that will be for i in range this. That means these many times you have to run this. Okay, if I say I want to play 5 times, if I say I want to play 5 times, that means this loop will going to run 5 times, and it will going to ask me the same thing 5 times, right? But now I have to also calculate the point. I also have to calculate the point. So I'm going to create two more variables over here. That is your user underscore points, where I'm going to uh, store all the user points, and initially it is 0, right? Copy this, and then we have the computer points. Right? So now what will going to happen, we are going to store the user point and computer point as well. So over here, if the user is winning, so what we are going to do, we are going to append the value of user. So we are going to say user point is equals to user point plus 1. That means increase the user point. If user has won the game, then increase the user point, right? And at last, we are going to provide, let me copy this one and paste this. We are also going to provide the point of the user as well. So let's say user score, computer score, right? User point, and we have the computer point, right? So what will going to happen? Every time it will going to give us the score of the user and score of the computer. So let me copy this, because this is something that we have to put in the elif as well, right? And in the match drawn as well, right? Now, if the computer is winning, then we have to append the value of the variable for the computer. So we are going to say computer points. Instead of this, we are going to append the computer points, right? I hope till here this is clear, right? So let's see and play this game. Let's run this. Now it is asking me how many times do you want to play this game? How many times do you want to play this game? Let's say I want to play this game 5 times. Okay. So this is the first time that it is asking me. So I'm going to say I'm going to choose rock, and let's run this. Now see, user has chose R, computer has chose scissor, user has won. So the user score is 0 and user score is 1 and computer score is 0, right? Next, let's say paper. User has chosen paper, computer has chosen rock, so user has again won, and user score is being changed from 1 to 2. Now see, it was earlier it was 1, now it is 2, and then we have the score as 0 itself. Okay, now let's say scissor. Again, you can see computer won the game, so the computer has got 1 point. Now paper you can see user has won, so 3 points to user, and the last is your rock. And in this, computer has won, so the total score is 3 and 2, right? Now this is very odd to differentiate it, which is the first level and second level and third level. So what we are going to do is we are going to add over here, we are going to add a print, and we're going to add a divider, right? Just for the presentation, just for the sake of presentation, we're going to add a divider, so it will going to look good. Okay, it will going to look good, so that it will be easy for us to differentiate. Let me copy this and paste this over here as well. Paste this, paste this here as well. We're going to paste this here as well and paste this here as well, right? So that will be very easy for us to rectify which section are we playing with. Okay, let's go with 3 round. See, this is the first round, so I'm going to go with R. So now see, right? So you can see this is very easy for us to understand, isn't it? This is very easy for us to understand. Okay, so this is the level 1, or this is the first game in which the user has scored 1 and computer has scored 0. Let's say again, R, user has scored 1, computer has scored 0, because match was drawn. User has chosen R and computer has chosen R, right? And now again, rock, and in this, user has scored 0 and computer has scored 0 as well, right? Now based on this you can also compare the value. That means when you are done, with all of this, you can say if the user points if the user points is greater than, this is the final verdict. Okay, if the user point is greater than the computer points, then you will going to print. Let me add this. Let me copy this one itself and paste this over here. You will going to print that who won the game. User won the game. Okay, user won the game. Simple, right? Let me copy this and paste this over here, and instead of L, we are going to elif, and we are going to change this direction in such a way, what who will going to win the game. Computer will going to win the game. Computer won the game, right? Else, let me remove this. Else, what we are going to say, match draw. Match draw. Okay, so this is the condition that we have put. This is the condition that we have put to our game. Okay, let's run this. How many times do you want to play the game? Come on, tell me. Come on, tell me. How many times we should play the game? Come on. How many times should we play the game? 5 times. Okay, let's see this. Now we have to win this game. So tell me, what should be the first input should I give? Should I give rock or paper or scissor? Come on. So now this is a very critical game between human and computers and machines. So tell me, rock, paper, scissor. Okay, scissor. Okay, let's see. Come on, guys. Computer is winning. Tell me the next one. Rock, paper, scissor. Okay, people are saying rock. Okay, let's see this. No, come on, guys. Help me out. Computer has already scored twice. Okay, again rock. Okay, let's see this. Rock. Okay, this is match draw. Draw. Come on. People are saying scissor. Let's go with scissor then. Let's see who won the game. Okay, again it is draw. Oh my god. User has already lost the game. Yes or no? Okay, let's go with paper. And let's see the final verdict. So, user has won at the last. And the final verdict is that computer won the game. Computer has successfully won the game. And the final score, you can also print the final score as well if you want to, but you can see if our final score is already been visible. That is, user has scored 1 and computer has scored twice. Is this clear? Is this clear? Okay. Okay, so this is a simple game that you can easily build. You can go on and you can make it more complex. So over here you can see this is logic. This is a single logic where we are checking who has won the game. So you can put this entirely into one function. Okay, so you're going to give the input of the user and the input of the computer, right? And you can put all this functionality into a function. Okay, you can put all the functionality into a function. Okay, that function will going to return you the output. Simple. Okay, this is one functionality. This is another functionality that tells that who has won the game. Is it a user or is it a computer who has won the game, right? So this is the entire logic that I have written, and you can optimize this based on the functions. You can even add some more stuff. You can add your own creativity. You can create other game as well, such as snake water gun. You can create, and so on and so forth, right? So this is a small project and demonstration. Over here, if you look very carefully, we have used all the stuffs, all the knowledge that we have been talking since last few days. Yes or no? We were talking about variables, we were talking about values, we were talking about loops, we are talking about conditional statements, and we're talking about print and all that, right? So all the things that we have talked about in this bootcamp, we have simply used, and we have created a simple logical game, that is your rock paper scissors. Okay, is this clear? So that's all for today, and that's how we have completed the boot camp, right? Tomorrow, the boot camp will be for the project. Tomorrow, I'm going to tell you about the project, what project you have to do, and what you have to submit. Okay, obviously, project will be a bit trickier. Okay, it won't be that much easy that you can go on, you can copy it from internet and you can paste it. Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to tell you about the project, and tomorrow you will be getting all the resources that we have used in this bootcamp. That means you will be getting all of these Jamboards. You will be receiving this collab file as well. So all of this code will be provided to you, and all the material will be provided to you tomorrow. That is your last day. Is this clear? Is this clear? Is this clear, everyone? Yes or no? Okay, perfect. So now, attendance. Here you go with your attendance. So this is your attendance. Kindly make sure you're going to fill this up. Here's my LinkedIn. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, you're most welcome to do so. Okay. I think the link is this one. Perfect. Now it's the time for the doubt session. If you have any, kindly shoot that up in the chat section itself, please. You can use Google Colab to do so. Not an issue. Okay, you can use Google Colab. Okay, it's really great to see that you guys love the entire session and love the entire bootcamp. Really appreciate it for that. Already told you that pandas are not been included in this bootcamp. This is for the Python only, right? Pandas and NumPy will be included whenever we are going to have a bootcamp related to data analysis. Okay, all the information about the project will be no, given to you tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to tell you everything about the project, when to submit, where to submit, what to do. Okay, all the question related to related to the project will be addressed tomorrow. Okay, anyone else, any more doubts? Thank you so much. It's really great to see that you guys are loving the boot camp. Thank you so much. Platform where you can do this, you can easily do that in your Google Colab. Okay, open Google Colab and you can do that. Okay, so this is the attendance form. Let me share it once again to all of you. This is the attendance form. Okay, Perfect. Seems like you guys don't have doubt, so we can wrap this up. What is the f in the code? This is a f string. This is a method, how this is a way of writing. Okay, this is an advanced way of writing. If I want to print the string as well, and I want to print the variable as well, over here you can see this is this is the value. This is a string, this is a hard coded, but this is the value that is coming directly from the variable. So this is just a method or representation, how you represent the string. This is known as a format string and or f string. One is a format string and one is a f string. So this is a f string, this is just a format. Okay, any other doubt? So why is Java is said to be more prone to hacking when compared to Python? See, it's just the case that Python don't have no it's not been used much in those cybersecurity libraries and hacking libraries. That's the only case, right? If we have a huge community, people are using Python and all that, then Python will be no, you can use Python for hacking as well, right? Anything else? Yes, you can use Jupyter Notebook, please. You can use Jupyter Notebook. Okay. Any more doubts? Already explained you. All the doubts related with the project will be addressed tomorrow. Okay. Any other doubt, anyone? Okay, perfect. So anything else? I was getting error in the f string, sir. Do we have to define? No, no, we don't have to define it. Just simple. The way we have I have defined, you have to go on and you can do that. Okay. Demand for basics to DSA bootcamp of C++ languages from user. Definitely, if you want, I can take the DSA bootcamp session on that as well. Not an issue. Okay. Anything else? Exactly. Java for 7 plus billion dev for a reason. Lol. Yeah. Anything? Difference between data science and data analysis. So data analysis is a subdomain of data science, just like ML and just like deep learning and all that, right? So data science is very vast, whereas data analysis is just a portion of data science. Okay. How many years of experience you have? Your coding skills amazing. So I have 2+ years of experience. Okay, I'm working in a MNC and as a part-time at DevTown as an instructor as well. Okay. Is PyCharm also a good app to run? Yes, of course, PyCharm is good. Okay, in fact, it is best I can say, right? But only the thing is that go with PyCharm whenever you are building some kind of softwares, and you have a decent amount of RAM in your system as well or memory as well, right? Because it consumes a lot of RAM. It's a heavy software, PyCharm. Okay. Uh, dear sir, why we have discussed DSA only in first session and then only Python in the other session? Because the boot camp is intro to data science using Python, right? And we have seen the first step, how exactly you can use Python to achieve a lot of things. Yes, I'm an engineer. I'm a software engineer, right? Working in a MNC and a lead data science instructor at DevTown. Okay. After tomorrow's brief, you will be getting a week time to submit the project. Okay, and the project will be I won't say it will be easy, but it will be a bit trickier, right? The reason being, I'm going to give you a trickier project so that you can scratch your head and you can expand your thinking level, right? You should think out of the box. You should be thinking a lot about that, and I'll make sure that you won't be getting the solution in the internet as well. Okay. Okay. Perfect. So now this is the last time I'm sharing the attendance form, and this is the last time I'm sharing my LinkedIn. Okay. And with this, I think we can conclude today's call. And if you guys really want more boot camps on data science and all that, definitely ping us. We're definitely going to make sure that you guys will going to get a productive content. Okay. Project duration is 1 week. Within 1 week, you have to submit the project. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Really appreciated. Okay. Perfect. Okay, guys. I think we can wrap this up for today. Let's meet tomorrow. Okay. Thank you so much for joining in. Okay. Bye bye. Take care. Good night. Have a great evening and enjoy it. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.